This episode is brought to you in part by Sheffield Financial, specialized equipment financing for work, play, and everything in between. Visit sheffieldfinancial.com. And Hybrid Light, durable, environmentally friendly, and guaranteed for life. Visit hybridlight.com.
5 a.m. can't come soon enough for folks like these. There's more than just a job to do, so they hit their knees. They sure take pride in everything they do. And there's no challenge that they won't work through. So they tirelessly keep going on. They work their fingers to the bone. They spend way too much time in the field and away from home. You can be sure they know what all this hard work is for. So now we honor you as legends, legends of the outdoors.
Today on the Legends of the Outdoors, we're going to be meeting with Mr. Darrell Van Vactor, Operations Manager for Crappie USA Fishing Trail, as well as the King Cat Catfishing Competition. We've invited Darrell to spend a week with us in Como, Mississippi at Les Smith's Crappie Compound. Hey, young man. Hey, Darrell.
How are you this morning?
I'm great. Boy, it's good to see you. Good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Man, what a facility. Isn't this nice?
Oh, it's great. Hey, listen, we've never actually got to be on the water together fishing, so I'm very excited.
All these years. Never been in the same boat.
But we're going to be today. Let's go get on the water.
I'm going to beat you.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
At least I'm going to hope to.
Darrell and I are headed to Lake Arkabutla with Paul Alpers and Les Smith to power troll for some crappie. Paul and Darrell have been good friends since they worked together back in the crappie-thon days years ago. We're excited to try to catch some crappie that we can fillet for dinner and hear a few stories from Darrell on this expedition. Hey, we know Darrell, Paul, we've talked about doing this for years and years, and we're here with Les Smith, our host. And you know, here's 4 guides in the boat. Did you imagine that? I mean, you know, you two guys y'all have been the mainstay of crappie tournament angling for, gosh, well over 40 years, you know. And y'all have done some amazing things. You've made a lot of people well known, you know, from Ronnie Capps, Steve Coleman, and many, many others, you know, over the years. And we've talked about getting together and going fishing, and we're finally doing that here on Arkabutla in Mississippi. And what a great, great morning it is. And y'all have already caught some fish.
Yeah, but I wish you had mentioned there's 4 guides in the boat, because between the 4 guides, we've only caught, 3 fish now. 2.5.
Yeah.
You call that a fish?
You know, you never complain about what the good Lord gives you.
That's right, that's right.
Got a fish on right here.
Yeah, we're just very blessed to be
Can
able
you
to do
sing,
this.
Yeah, we got him.
Got him?
Yeah. Now, Paul, you finally caught a keeper.
Did I?
But it's on my rod. Did I mention that?
Well, that's, you know, if you'd been a little faster, you could have got him.
You don't kiss him, Jimmy? There you go.
All right.
Jimmy.
Dinner.
Jimmy.
Hey, after that smoked crappie dip that Kent Driscoll did yesterday,
That was good.
Man,
that one's
was
going
good.
in the box.
Yeah, absolutely.
Woo, that was
good
fantastic.
Stuff. I told Ken, I said, you know, that stuff right there calls a man to run plumb out of Ritz crackers.
Oh man, make a bulldog break a chain and jump off a meat wagon.
Well, you know, the last time I was down here fishing with Les, me and my co-host, Abby Joe, was down here doing this, and man, we had a ball. Abby Joe outfished every one of us too.
Well, you're able to cover so much more water. You're able to
yeah.
speed up, and you know, when the water temperature gets up like it is now, you can go pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
Water cools down, you've got to slow down a little
down.
bit, I would imagine. We do at home. But right now, man, you're able to cover a lot of water power trolling.
Tired of pushing that old lawnmower? Don't go another season without the equipment you need to do the jobs that are important to you. At Sheffield Financial, we specialize in helping our customers get what they need. The easy application and fast approval process makes financing your outdoor power equipment easy. Don't go another season without the equipment you need. Check out SheffieldFinancial.com today.
Hey Abby, I want to tell you about a really neat contest that we're running on Legends of the Outdoors TV for our sponsor, Hybrid Lights. Anyone that's watching our show after episode 6 can go on hybridlight.com and say, I seen the light or I found the light. Yeah. Every episode, we're going to have a hybrid light somewhere in that episode. And when you see it, you click on hybridlight.com and tell them that you've seen the light and where you've seen it at. And that will automatically put you in for a contest where one winner will win a great box full of Hybrid Light products.
Wow, whoever wins is lucky.
They are lucky, and I tell you what, this is some of the neat products. You can charge your phone with these.
Wow.
They charge, most of their products charged by solar or through plugging them into the wall through a USB port or just a straight plug. So hybridlights.com, click on it and find out all about the Legends of the Outdoors TV. I found the light.
This segment is brought to you in part by Jury Outdoors, helping hunters since 1989. Visit juryoutdoors.com. And Blue Bend Outdoors. For more information, visit facebook.com/bluebendoutdoors.
Well, Darrell, we've talked about fishing together many times, but you know, I just appreciate you so much being out here. You're one of our Hall of Fame members and certainly deserving for all that you've done for not only the crappie fishermen, but for anglers of all varieties all across the nation, because you also run one of the largest catfish tournament trails in America.
We do, and that's all thanks to Cabela's. They asked me about 2000. They said, we want you to design a national catfish trail and we're going to support it. And I said, guys, you don't understand. We're your crappie guys. I'm not that familiar with the catfish market. I've done a lot of catfishing in my life, but not that familiar. And he said, well, no, you don't understand. We're going to sponsor a national catfish trail, and you're going to design it. I said, I think I'm understanding better now. How many tournaments are we having the first year? And that's about the way it was. But they, you know, the way they explained it, they said, we've got a lot of customers that target catfish as their favorite species, and we want you to design something for them. So that's what we did. Hey, big, nice, black, white crappie.
That's a nice
big white crappie.
You know, hey, I see grits and greens around that thing.
Yeah. What do you think, 2.5 pounds?
Well, by the time you get back to Kentucky, it will be.
Well, if it'd been on Bill Dance's show, it'd have been 3.
Yeah. You know, every fish I ever caught got bigger after I caught
That's
him.
right. They do. They grow.
Smoked crappie, boys.
That's right.
Crappie.
Hey, them 1 pound, pound and a quarter fish, that's the best table fare anyway. We have about 20 tournaments a year leading up to a national classic. The national classic for the king cat market now is over $125,000.
Wow.
And I would have never thought that we would have seen that happen. But the catfishermen have honed their skills, and the market has changed with the stigma of catfishing. And at that time, the catfishermen were very secretive about everything they did and how they did it. And since that time, they've seen the need to grow their sport, and they've been very open, just like the crappie anglers. They work together, they share information. You know, guys show up at a tournament that's not on fish. Some of the guys will say, hey, you need to start over here where I'm at, and that sort of thing. It's a pleasure working with them. They're a great group of people.
Back in the day of crappie-thon, you know, how in the world did y'all come up with the idea of tagging fish and doing the things? I mean, I remember me and you turning a fish loose in Kentucky Lake, probably about 85, 86, that was worth $1 million.
We did that.
A
That's right.
tag fish that was worth $1 million.
Of course, what people didn't understand, that fish was insured. Boy, was it insured, you know. At that time, Johnson Fishing out of Mankato had bought Crappie trademarks and everything. And they saw a situation where they could promote products by putting bonuses on their products when a tag fish is caught if you were using a certain product. And so it was unreal how many of those big dollar, we referred to them as big dollar tag fish, were caught. And it averaged over the nation, it averaged about 28% of those tag fish were caught and paid for that were released. And we at one time had 44 programs running, 44 different lakes in the country. They were as far north as New York, as far south as Florida, and as far west as Nebraska, Kansas, of course, Oklahoma, Texas. And in each of these 44 programs, there were 2 fish released that were worth $65,000 each if you were using one of Johnson's particular reels. Right. And you'd be amazed how many reels were being used to fish for those tag fish. And we paid those full bonuses many times. Of course, the fish were still worth like $5 grand if you didn't catch them on a particular product. But if you did, 65 grand. So it sold a lot of reels. Look at there.
Oh, the old guide caught one.
Nice fish.
Now, what I'm doing, Darrell, is I'm getting these little fish out of your way so you can catch the big
I
ones.
appreciate that, but I don't see anything wrong with that one.
Well, come here. Well, I tell you what, that's a beautiful fish right there.
They are. They're fat, healthy. These Mississippi fish are always fat and healthy.
Look at that bait in his mouth, Charlie Brewer slider, and on that, what'd you call that jig head?
Crappie Magnet Pro Series. Those are fin spins.
Fin
Those are
spins,
bad boys.
Boy, that's a deadly combination too. That color and that slider grove in there and everything. I'm going to hand that back to our illustrious host. Hey folks, we'll be right back after these messages with Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame member Darrell Van Vactor. Stick around while Abby Jo and I come right back and talk to Darrell, Paul Alpers, and Mr. Kent Driscoll. Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a brand new product created by my friend Steve Mosley. Steve, BioPro Green was created by you. Tell us a little bit about what it does and why.
BioPro Green is made from a specialized group of products that helps enhance your food plot. It increases the protein, it increases the biomass, and it will help draw wildlife to your food plot.
BioPro Green will enhance your food plots and help bring wildlife to your properties.
This segment is brought to you in part by Charlie Brewer Slider Company. For more information, visit sliderfishing.com. And One Fatal Mistake Outfitters. For more information, visit onefatalmistakeoutfitters.com.
Back at the crappie compound, Abby Jo and I sat down with Darrell, Paul Alpers, and Mr. Kent Driscoll to shoot the breeze after a good meal. Well, hey guys, you know, this has been a great night. We've had a lot of good food and good camaraderie. We're just sitting around telling some stories. And Paul, we were talking about down in Florida that night that you put me up. I come down there to MC that tournament. Yeah. What did you say? That was in Stanford, Florida?
Sanford,
Florida. And we get down there and the whole hotel swimming pool that night at 10 o'clock. I'm in bed trying to sleep. The hotel pool fills up with mallard ducks. And they're out there swimming and quacking and oh, I wanted a shotgun so bad.
Yeah.
One duck season, was it?
One duck season. That was the middle of the summer.
I bet the guy that jumped in that pool the next afternoon with a shotgun too.
I tell you what, I never prayed for an alligator so bad in my life to come up out of a Harris chain and chase them ducks
You
around.
better be careful praying for alligators down there. You might just get one. There's a lot of them. You're not allowed to have pets in the subdivisions along Lake Harris.
I wish they'd have told
Honestly.
that guy that told that
Honestly,
ducks.
gators go right through the patio doors,
Really?
literally.
And we stayed in some hotel down there one time that had an orange orchard all the way around the hotel. They just built this hotel. And so my assistant coach and I would sneak out there and pick some oranges off the orange trees and eat them for breakfast. we had oranges till they was running out of our ears.
You know, most of those groves got cameras up. You know that, don't you?
Well, they got some ugly pictures, all I know. And I went back this year, and all them orange groves are gone. They got some kind of blight, I guess, and they
They
cut
lost
them
a
all
lot of
down.
their groves. In that Crystal River area, right through the citrus area there,
Yeah.
they lost a lot of groves. But you go to the grocery store around here now, which I like grapefruit juice. You can't find it.
Oh, no.
It's just not there anymore.
Well,
And used to you buy it at any grocery you walked in.
when we were in Leesburg, Florida last year, I thought I'd find a stand somewhere and buy some oranges, you know, and 2 or 3 of my buddies up here wanted, bring us some oranges, bring us some oranges. Man, the oranges, little old basket about that big was $4 and $5. I
Yeah.
thought, well, you know, I'll beat this system. I went to Walmart's. Guess what the oranges was in Walmart's?
$4 or $5.
$1 a piece. $1 a piece in Leesburg, Florida is what the oranges was.
It's like the sign when you go into Florida. The orange is $1 a bag.
Yeah, tourists
They
gullible.
were, but there's one per bag.
One per bag.
I think one of the funniest things that ever happened to me, though, and of course Darrell's done a bunch of them. We all have worked with children, you know, in kids fishing rodeos. And I was at this rodeo, and we had about 200 kids there, and we're signing them up with names, you know. This lady comes up and says, well, I got Sammy here and Marie Jo. I said, well, where's Marie Jo at? She was about 8 months pregnant. And of course, our deal said 12 and under. It didn't say nothing about it. You know, I thought I didn't. I said, man.
How far under that went?
I said, I think that's a little bit too far under me. But that was kind of a funny deal. You know, she just popped it right back off at me.
You know, those kids, hey, you get them out in that inclement weather, they're liable to stay out more so than your fishermen out on the
there's
lake.
no doubt.
Really. Pulled in there a few years ago and had 2 guys in my crew that weekend. And I said, guys, it's coming a downpour out here. We're not going to have any kids this morning. If you want to just lean back and take you a nap, we'll let this settle down and we'll get the weigh-in set up. And about the time I dozed off with a little tap on the window, when I opened my eyes, I bet there was 150 little yellow raincoats out there. I said, guys, I think I was wrong. They were out there in that downpour now, ready to fish.
What was it you said earlier? You told a story earlier, and tell the folks the story you told about when you fished a Bass Masters tournament.
It's been so long ago when I fished BASS. At the end of the weigh-in, of course, took the fish off the stringers. Brought them in on stringers.
Right.
Took them off the stringers. Somebody was dressing them behind
We're
the
not
trailer
talking
on
about
one
live
end.
release, are we?
No. We released them in Crisco Lake.
Yeah.
But Ray's cooking behind the trailer on this end. Somebody's dressing bass on this end. Now, you don't think that's been a long time ago?
That's
Try
been a while,
getting away with that today.
Yeah.
You know, thankfully, we all got smart enough to spell conservation along the way, but that was commonplace back then. Have the tournament, and then you have the fish fry.
I'm embarrassed, you know, of course, I coach Bethel University's college bass fishing team, and we promote conservation and everything, but I'm embarrassed to tell you, when Cindy and I first got married, we didn't have a lot of money. And then 2 little kids come along, and if I caught a bass, he went to the house, and it didn't matter what size he was. I didn't even own a boat at the time. Didn't have enough money to own a boat. And so when I caught something, it went to the house, and it didn't matter if it was a snapping turtle or what it was. Brenda Valentine told me one time, of course, we both grew up in Buchanan, Tennessee, and Brenda told me, said, you know you're a country kid when you grew up knowing the right consistency of a cow turd to be able to flip it over and get worms out from under it to go fishing.
I remember her saying that.
After these messages, we'll be right back with the Legends Outdoor TV. Hey folks, I want to tell you about a brand new reel and gun oil created by my friend Jeff Milam called 80 Below. Jeff, tell me a little bit about the product.
80 Below is a product that's built to really withstand Mother Nature. Anything it throws at it, minus 80 degrees on the cold side and up to 465 high side. Really, if you like to hunt cold weather or fish in cold weather, it's an excellent product.
80 Below gun and reel oil. You got to have this if you hunt and fish.
This segment is brought to you in part by Case Knives, built with integrity for people of integrity. Visit caseknives.com. And War Eagle Boats, the nation's premier waterfowling boats. Visit wareagleboats.com.
If I was going to go anywhere else and live,
Yeah.
I got two places in this, and one of them would be Mississippi.
Yeah.
Because like you said,
Yeah.
you got 3 or 4 good lakes here. And of course, it is a home of 3-pound crappie. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. There's not a better chance of catching a 3-pounder in the nation than right here.
And then, have you ever been to Lake D'Arbonne in Louisiana?
Oh, yes. My goodness, yes. In fact, I'm going to be down there in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's another little hidden secret.
It is that.
And so
It is that.
Well, you know, Paul, you were right. You know, very rarely do we get out on the water anymore. You know, back when I used to guide, I'd spend 150 days a year on the water guiding fishing and another 60 on the water guiding waterfowl hunters.
Yeah.
And but now, since I coach the Bethel bass fishing team and doing the Legends Outdoor stuff and everything, I find myself more in the business office than I am actually on the water. And it's just good to get out here this morning and be a part of this. And man, I want to thank Les for having us, and you know, getting to be with you guys has been a dream come true for me. But
When you're in the business, you never have time to go fishing yourself.
no, that's right. You know, they always said that, you know, the cobbler's kids have no shoes. You know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, talking about that, of course, Ray Scott started the tournament fishing as a whole in the bass market. And for several years, when we started trying to grow tournament fishing for the crappie market, you'd approach a company that you wanted to see support the tournaments, and they'd say, well, no, wait a minute, you guys not bass fishing? I mean, if you didn't say bass, they weren't interested.
that's right.
And we have seen things evolve over the past several years now to the point that we've had national companies. One comes to mind first is Grant Corbett with Ego Nets. I went to him, and I'd already been to 2 of the big net companies at the ICAST show back many years ago. And I said, we need somebody that will design a net for our crappie anglers. And he said, well, what's different about it? I said, we need something that with an extended handle, that's lightweight, that the crappie anglers can use, because many of them use multiple rods. And he said, well, you just, you draw up what you need, and I'll see what I can do. Within 45 days, the man had a prototype in my hand, and within the next 2 years, it became the largest selling net of Adventure Products Company, which was parent company of Ego Net, and still is today. But it just shows you, the guys were eager. They said, you know, the crappie fishermen are a market, thank you, Les, they're a market that we should be listening to. We need to design products for the crappie market.
Darrell, fish on.
Oh, come on. Oh, man, good fish. Get to that. Oh, I'm sorry, it was your turn, but
That's right.
I can only wait on you so long.
Yeah, see, I rubbed good luck on that pole a while ago when I caught that
That's what happened. Yeah. I think that was my pole that you caught your only keeper on, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yep, I see some smoked crappie dip right there, Gary.
Yeah, that looks like it might go.
Oh, yeah, it's about 11.
I can't get you any closer.
Well, I'm glad I finally got some help up here.
Oh, yeah, I know. We got to park upon the fish.
Yeah. Ooh-wee.
Check that baby out.
Huge, yeah, man. Nice white crappie.
I'm gonna take that home with me. Oh, what a good fish. What a great fish.
Beautiful fish.
Man, I like him kind that you don't have to measure.
Yeah, that's right. What does it weigh?
Pound and 3/4.
Every bit of it.
He might be.
Yeah, about 210.
Yeah, about 210.
You got to remember that Darrell has held so many fish in his lifetime. And being an old Kentucky Lake guide, I've held a lot of fish, but not many 2-pounders. You know, we've had a great time out here, had a great day, caught a lot of fish. Thanks to Les. This is one of the biggest crappie I've caught in my lifetime. I appreciate you coming and being on the show.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you for having me.
I want to thank you for all that you've done for all the anglers across the nation. And gosh, what, 45 years?
No, 37.
37 years.
It does feel like 45 sometimes.
Well, you know, I'm just barely old enough to remember that.
I understand you were a young whippersnapper when we started this business.
Yeah, I was. But thank you for all you've done for everyone, Darrell. And man, what a great way to end the show. Folks, come back next time and we'll see you on the Legends of the Outdoors TV.
This episode was brought to you in part by Sheffield Financial, specialized equipment financing for work, play, and everything in between. Visit sheffieldfinancial.com. And Hybrid Light, durable, environmentally friendly, and guaranteed for life. Visit hybridlight.com.